This latest chapter of Kaiju number 8 was insane because Kafka was a damn beast. This man was not playing any games at all. This man was destroying Kaiju number 9. This man was pulling some new abilities. This man was just all over the place. Like, this man made sure that Kaiju number 9 was going to get the ass whooping of his life, because with this chapter it showcased that Kafka, he was not playing any games. This man was able to transform into Kaiju number 8, and he took full advantage of every time, and also to trying to control and trying to figure out, like, okay, now I know the reason why I couldn't transform into Kaiju number 8. And he's thinking in his back of his head, like, I'm never going to go berserk again. And also to realizing that his whole team believes in him, even though he doesn't believe in himself. And throughout this whole chapter, every page of the artwork was amazing. The author did a very good job with all the panels, all the drawings. Everything was just 100% amazing, and it was just 100% crisp, because just seeing all the designs from Kafka just beating the hell out of Kaiju number 9, from seeing Kikuru and Kafka having their small moment while Kafka is acknowledging Kikuru, everything was just 100% beautiful, and it was just 100% amazing. And by the time this chapter was done, I was just like, damn, because everything was just 100% flawless. But let's begin in the beginning of this chapter. So we start off with the chapter while we see that the rest of the defense force number 1 is actually trying to destroy all of the kaijus that surrounded the city and the surrounding their area. So while they're destroying and trying to kill all the kaijus, they get a report saying that Kaiju number 8 has emerged, and he's right here ready to fight against Kaiju number 9. And we see some of them, they're just amazed that he's just like, oh, he finally is able to get out of his kaiju form. So while that's going on, Kaiju number 9, he is just so hyped and so amped because his tuition was right, that he knew that Kafka was Kaiju number 8. So he's just telling to Kafka, like, hey, I knew you were right. I knew you were Kaiju number 8. Now you're about to get these hands and you're about to die and about to steal your kaiju powers. So while that's going on, we see Kafka just walking towards Kikuru, and we see that Kafka is literally talking to Kikuru and thanking Kikuru. So while he's thanking Kikuru, we see that Kaiju number 9, he's using his sonar ability to gather all of the dead kaiju that's around him to get up, be revived, and go ahead and try to attack against Kafka, so that way he can go ahead and try to finish him off. So Kafka, he goes in and he tells Kikuru, like, thank you for believing in me, even though I didn't believe in myself. And we see Kafka smiling in his kaiju form, and that was just a cute moment. And you see Kikuru, she's just being all tough. She's just like, yeah, sure, fine, whatever. So Kafka was just like, hey, can you have my back? Can you take care of those ants while I go ahead and beat the hell out of Kaiju number 9? And Kikuru was just like, sure, no problem. She was like, make sure that you win. If you don't win, I will kill you. And Kafka was like, don't worry, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna beat his ass. And guess what? Kafka actually beat the fuck out of Kaiju number 9. Like, this man whooped his ass from any direction, north, east, west, south, anything that you name, because Kafka was unbelievable. This man went through Kaiju number 9's like ant form, and he took his core, and he has his core right in front of his own hands, and he's just holding it. And the panel of how Kafka is just holding the core is just 100% badass. And we see Kaiju number 9, he's looking lost, but he realized that this is not Kaiju number 9's core. He says this is the ant's core. So he realized that he needs to go ahead and find Kaiju number 9's core, because at this moment in time, remember, Kaiju number 9, he's fused with the ant. That doesn't mean that his core actually became one with the ant. So at this moment in time, Kafka's just like, you know what, he's looking back, and we see that Kaiju number 9, he's starting to throw all his bullets and his attacks. And while Kafka, he's reflecting all of these bullets coming at him, he starts to remember and start to monologue about his abilities and what made him think of how he's able to gain control over his kaiju form. And so while he's doing that, we see Kafka just going all over the place, dodging the bullets, running through buildings like he's Spider-Man. And then we see on the bottom of his foot, the heel of his foot, it made like a jetpack, and this man was able to do like a roundhouse kick, or he was able to fly up in the air. And then so while he got all the way fly up in the distance to the middle of where he can see above the ant, Kafka just came straight down and started to punch Kaiju number 9 in the air, in mid-air, and he was able to make a dent. And while Kaiju number 9 was blocking the attacks, we see blood coming out of Kaiju number 9's mouth, eyes everywhere. And while the dent is forming, we see that Kafka was able to destroy Kaiju number 9 ant body. And that's just how the chapter ends. This was a very entertaining chapter, man. Kafka, he beat the hell out of Kaiju number 9, and things are looking good for him. In this chapter, it was really needed because the fact that Kafka, he finally was able to transform into Kaiju number 9, and realizing why he was able to lose control over his berserk mode. So it kind of seems like, you know, Kaiju number 9, he's being weak, but we kind of will suspect that Kaiju number 9 will get back up and he'll be ready for the fight, because it makes sense that Kafka, he has to look strong in this chapter because he just transformed into Kaiju number 8. So the fact that he actually is able to transform and realizing what was the reason and how he's able to control himself even when he goes to this berserk mode, we kind of gain an indication of like how Kafka, he's able to understand his Kaiju powers, but also too with this chapter, he has to look strong. But it's suspect next week or so that we're going to see a full-blown fight with Kaiju number 9 and Kaiju number 8. If not, then we don't know what's going to happen. But other than that, if you guys do like the video, please give it a like, subscribe. Always remember, always be decent. This is the Monotone Man, and if you guys do like any other my other content like Black Clover, Jujutsu Kaisen, Record of Ragnarok, Solo Leveling, Kojin X, please give it a subscribe and give it a like as well. But other than that, be safe, be decent, and peace.